I haven't eaten for 3 days since Daddy died. Help me.
My daughter suddenly came to visit. She was emaciated, wearing tattered clothes. What on earth was going on? I couldn't make sense of it, but due to certain circumstances, I decided to ignore her. It's not my concern. But then my daughter's demeanor changed.
What? Are you still my mother? Are you going to abandon me?
Certainly, as a parent, one would try to help a distressed child, but I couldn't. Because. Can you all guess the reason? I'm Abby, 58 years old, working at a hospital as a medical secretary. I lived alone in an older home. However, it wasn't always that way. 18 years ago, I was married and lived with my family of 4. My husband, Cyrus, 3 years older than me, was a kind man. His stepdaughter, Ashley, had just turned 3. We met through mutual acquaintances, but Cyrus's wife had recently passed away, leaving young Ashley behind.
My mother helps with raising Ashley, but she's getting older, and I worry about her. Plus, it's heartbreaking for Ashley to grow up without a mother's love.
You're very kind. I was drawn to Cyrus's kindness and gentle nature when it came to Ashley and his mother. At the age of 40, I enjoyed living alone and thought I didn't need to remarry. However, I decided to marry Cyrus because I wanted to share my life with him. My live-in mother-in-law was 63 at the time. Although she seemed kind during our first meeting.
Nice to meet you. I'm Cyrus's mother.
I'm Abby. Pleased to meet you.
You're well-mannered. My son's ex-wife lacked education and was a terrible daughter-in-law. If someone like you becomes Cyrus's wife, I'll feel relieved.
While she might have been complimenting me, I felt uneasy about speaking ill of the deceased. At that moment, I didn't know much about Cyrus's ex-wife, and I thought perhaps she truly was that kind of person. Looking back, maybe I should have trusted my instincts and thought more carefully. If I had, I might not have experienced the hellish situation that followed. During that time, my parents had already passed away, and I had no close relatives. Cyrus had remarried without a formal wedding ceremony, just a registration. After our marriage, Cyrus remained kind, but his work kept him busy with frequent business trips. He was rarely home, leaving only 3 of us, me, Ashley, and my mother-in-law. I had hoped to be a good mother to Ashley, but my mother-in-law insisted on raising Ashley herself. She kept Ashley close, leaving me with little opportunity to nurture her. My attempts to teach Ashley right from wrong were met with fierce resistance. Ashley, a spirited child, would jump from high places or throw away toys she didn't like. One day, I cautioned Ashley about her behavior. Ashley, it's dangerous. And remember to take care of your toys, I said. Ashley responded dramatically.
Grandma, Mom scolded me. Help.
Ashley, unaccustomed to reprimands, clung to my mother-in-law for support. In response, my mother-in-law glared at me with an intensity that left me speechless.
Raise her without scolding. Praise her instead.
My mother-in-law snapped.
After all, you're just a bloodless stranger.
I felt torn. I didn't want to burden Cyrus, who was already busy with work, but I worried about Ashley's well-being. When I gently discussed it with Cyrus, his expression changed. His eyes widened, and his lips trembled as if he feared something.
Sorry. My mother gets emotional about Ashley.
Cyrus confessed.
I'll try to talk to her. Please don't worry too much, Abby.
But it's not about me. It's Ashley I'm concerned about, I replied. Cyrus didn't say more, but it seemed he had spoken to his mother. Despite her softened tone toward me, my mother-in-law remained adamant about not allowing me to interfere in Ashley's upbringing. As I feared, Ashley's stubbornness grew worse. She'd point at TV commercials, demanding we buy whatever she desired.
Look. I want this. You have to buy it.
Ashley would insist, throwing tantrums. My mother-in-law would relent, saying,
All right, Ashley. I will buy it. Don't be upset.
Ashley throws tantrums until she gets what she wants. When she was younger, it was mostly toys and inexpensive treats, but as she entered middle school, she started craving expensive items. She shamelessly begged for brand-name clothes and bags that her wealthy friends owned. My mother-in-law tried to buy these things for her, but eventually, money became tight, and she turned to me.
As a mother, it's only natural to buy what she wants.
See? Stepmother is heartless.
Ashley also berated me. I consulted Cyrus.
What? Ashley is that demanding?
Cyrus seemed surprised, and no wonder. Ashley only played the obedient, cute child in front of her father. Cyrus lovingly advised Ashley.
Ashley, we're things within your means. Not everything you desire is attainable. Learning to be patient is important. Don't trouble Grandma or Mom.
Sorry for worrying you, Dad. All my friends have these things, so I wanted them too. I'll try to be patient from now on.
I'm glad you understand.
My mother-in-law nodded too, and I thought things would settle down. But I was wrong. The next day, when Cyrus left for work, Ashley's attitude was changed. She kicked me hard from behind while I was hanging laundry in the yard. I fell, hurting my back.
Ouch! What are you doing?
You dared to tattle to Dad about me. Meddling in things that don't concern you. I won't forgive you.
But I was thinking of your well-being.
Shut up.
Ashley's behavior worsened over time. Despite discussing it with Cyrus, she'd pretend remorse in front of him but retaliate against me in secret. Soon, rumors spread among neighbors and school teachers that the stepmother mistreated her. She even posted negative comments about me on social media. I became an outcast, enduring insults day and night. Afraid of Ashley's retaliation, I stopped confiding in Cyrus. By the time Ashley graduated middle school, even my mother-in-law couldn't handle her anymore. Amidst all this, my mother-in-law suddenly collapsed and passed away.
Tut. The old hag probably didn't save enough allowance.
Despite the fact that my mother-in-law, who had cared for Ashley so dearly, had just passed away, Ashley didn't shed a single tear. Instead, she clicked her tongue and selfishly thought only of herself. I was overwhelmed by disbelief. As I busied myself with my mother-in-law's funeral arrangements and attending to mourners, someone gently approached me. It was Maria, a relative who had always been kind to me.
I'm sorry. There's something I've kept from you.
She proceeded to reveal the shocking truth that my husband's ex-wife, Ashley's biological mother, had been a remarkably kind person. However, she suffered severe mistreatment from my mother-in-law, was separated from Ashley, and ultimately succumbed to despair, taking her own life. I was in shock. I realized that I, too, had been on the brink of mental anguish, just like Ashley's biological mother. When I asked Cyrus about it, he apologized sincerely.
I had strongly advised my mother not to burden you with such feelings.
I couldn't blame Cyrus, who had always been kind to me. At that moment, Ashley's harassment weighed more heavily on me than my mother-in-law's passing, but I couldn't bring myself to confide in anyone. Ashley was that terrifying. I considered facing Ashley once more, but by then, it was too late. Her behavior had deteriorated further. As middle school graduation approached, she skipped classes, roamed around with heavy makeup, and pilfered money from my wallet. When Cyrus was present, she behaved innocently, but in his absence, she intensified her cruel harassment. She spat at me and even threw objects at me unexpectedly.
Why do you behave so horribly? You act sweet in front of your father.
Humph. Dad's wealthy, you know. All the assets will be mine. You're in the way. Get out of this house.
I don't need money. I just wanted to be your mother.
Shut up.
Ashley seemed impervious to my words. She grabbed my hair, dragged me, and kicked me from behind. My body was covered in bruises. Her harassment escalated, and during Cyrus's extended business trip, I was finally forced out of the house by Ashley, who left me with nothing but the clothes on my back. It was a bitterly cold day, snowflakes drifting down. The neighbors viewed me as a wicked stepmother, and I couldn't seek help. Standing numbly outside the locked front door, shivering in thin clothing, I was startled when Cyrus returned from his trip earlier than expected.
Abby? What are you doing out here?
Taken aback by my appearance, Cyrus removed his coat and draped it over me. Tearfully, I explained everything. Though he listened sternly, his response surprised me.
Leave. Get out of this house right now.
Disappointed, I left Cyrus and the house behind. Fast forward 5 years. Although I had severed ties with Cyrus's relatives, I continued to maintain contact with Maria. She called me to apologize. Apparently, Ashley had threatened her, insisting that if she didn't reveal my address, there would be consequences. Why would Ashley suddenly need anything from me now? Soon after, the intercom buzzed, and the camera revealed a haggard-looking Ashley. Reluctantly, I opened the door. There stood Ashley, emaciated and wearing tattered clothes.
I haven't eaten for 3 days since Daddy died. Help me.
What on earth is going on? I was baffled but stood my ground. I have no obligation to you. Ashley's demeanor shifted dramatically.
What? Are you still my mother? Will you abandon your daughter?
While it's natural for a parent to want to help a troubled child, I had no such obligation. After all, I had suffered immensely at Ashley's hands.
You're a stranger. If you persist, I'll involve the police.
I shut the door and locked it.
Remember this. I'll make you regret it.
From beyond the door, Ashley's angry shouts echoed. Soon after, the harassment began, graffiti on the walls, garbage in the mailbox, all orchestrated by Ashley. I had evidence, and I wouldn't tolerate it any longer. I had prepared for Ashley's visit. I called her. Hey, it's me. Can you come over? I need to discuss something.
Finally willing to help, Mom. I'll be right there. Make sure you have a substantial amount of money ready. Otherwise, things won't end well.
Ashley arrived, jubilant.
Hand over the money quickly. And don't try to deceive me with pocket change.
I won't give you any money.
What? You?
As Ashley raised her fist in anger, a booming male voice came from the back room.
I'm dead? News to me.
Ashley stepped back, eyes wide, shocked to see Cyrus. In reality, when I left the house, Cyrus had warned me.
Abby's safety is at risk. Living with Ashley is impossible. Let's pretend we're divorced, and you should leave for now.
Subsequently, Cyrus bought another home for me. His frequent business trips allowed him to shuttle between Ashley and me. So when Ashley claimed Cyrus was dead, I immediately saw through her lie.
How dare you deceive me?
I believe it was you who told the lie. I know everything. In fact, I had heard about Ashley's situation from Cyrus. 6 months ago, Ashley had married someone she met on a dating app. However, her reckless spending and mounting debts led to a divorce, and she was kicked out. Cyrus had stepped in to cover her debts.
You're an adult. You need to stand on your own from now on.
But Ashley's lifestyle remained unchanged. She accumulated more debt, and desperate for money, she ended up at my doorstep.
If you're not divorced, then you're still my mother. Give me money for your daughter.
I was exasperated by Ashley's audacity.
You and I never had an adoption arrangement. We're not parent and child. I'll report your harassment.
What? I haven't done anything like that. You intend to accuse me without evidence?
I showed her the surveillance camera footage. As soon as Ashley left after hurling insults, I suspected she might try something, so I installed cameras. The footage clearly captured Ashley harassing in front of my house.
Ashley! What are you doing?
Humph. I don't want to hear it from a man who abandons his daughter.
Ashley finally revealed her true self even in front of Cyrus.
This conversation is also recorded, serving as evidence.
Cornered, Ashley turned pale. She desperately apologized and begged for forgiveness.
Please don't involve the police. Let it go. I just wanted some pocket money.
I sternly replied.
I won't forgive you. I'll never forget the harm you've caused me. Besides, forgiving you here won't benefit you. Pay for your sins.
No.
Cyrus and I stared coldly at the crumbling Ashley. Subsequently, Ashley was arrested and found guilty. Even after her release from prison, her actions remained infamous, and no one was willing to help her. With debts looming, she faced a miserable life. We sold my mother-in-law's house, and Cyrus and I moved to a rural home where Ashley wouldn't find us. Her phone number was blocked, ensuring we'd never meet again. I now enjoy peaceful days with kind-hearted Cyrus.
How was this story? Please subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.